Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hot Dummies on Islands feed. We're out of hibernation. The weather's warm and the dummies are on islands. And we are here to talk about the second Netflix season of Temptation Island. This is about episode 1. So if you haven't watched episode 1, go watch that, then come back. It's going to be full spoilers. But of course, I am, as always, Kirsten McInnis, joined by the wonderful Maggie Morgan. Maggie, how are you?
Oh, we are so freaking back, baby. I'm so happy right now. I have to say, the show started and I was just like, oh, how I've missed this. There's just something about Temptation Island where you're able to look at everyone and be like, everyone here is going through a psychological torture, treatment willingly, essentially. And we're just here to watch. It's magic. It's the worst show ever and also the best.
It's literally, I was talking about this with some friends recently because I was being like, hey, the show's not out yet, but it's coming and it's good and you should watch it. And everyone kind of gets on their qualms about the concept of Temptation Island, blah, blah. It's like, yes, okay, we could say it up front. If you're in a healthy relationship, you wouldn't go on this show. And nobody should go on this show, but please make 2,000 seasons. I will watch every single episode. Never let this show go into the sweet night.
Every single episode I will watch. And gotta say, we got a great crop this year. I'm thrilled about what is to come. I can already tell half of these couples are chomping at the bit to cheat on each other. As well established by our featherbrains know this, but as well established by our podcast, Temptation Island is so much better when they're cheating. Otherwise, it's just sad. At least if they're cheating, there's excitement, there's drama, there's villains and heroes and whatever. But when they're not and they're just being awful, it's sad. So
yes. Well, there's a healthy level of cheating that makes Temptation Island fun, and then there's the scary kind of cheating and other behavior that's not so fun. So I'm very hopeful that this season will be all of the fun cheating and not the scary cheating, but of course we're still just at the beginning, so we don't know. But this season started they start this season with footage of a foam party, and there's this clip of Mark L. Wahlberg, the host, talking over everything, and it's very intense. And then it starts to be footage from throughout the season in addition to this foam party, and it kind of ends with just sometimes the answers that you're searching for are the ones you're most afraid to face. And then it's boom, cutscene. All of the couples are each coming in on an individual helicopter, and Mark L. Wahlberg is just standing on the beautiful coast of whichever Hawaiian island they're on. And it's just this is cinema.
It's magic. It's camp and it's magic. Mark L. Wahlberg, he really does the damn thing. He does. And I don't know that I was fully bought in at first, but now it feels like I'm coming home. It feels like Papa is greeting us, at the door.
It literally was when we can go back to the footage, because we've been covering since the season that came out in 2020 or 2021. And I am on the record saying oh, he's giving a weird uncle vibe. I don't know, this isn't working for me. No, now I'm no, that's my uncle. The father I never had.
Yes. And also he, I'm just gonna say it, he gives good advice. He does.
He gives really good advice in general. So we've come a long way in our journey with Mark L. Wahlberg.
Mark.
Before, he's my Marky Mark. And these couples are truly the funky bunch. So before we actually jump into all these couples and getting to know them, I do just want to say, for anyone who's listening on audio only, head on over to youtube.com/@RHAP and you can see our wonderful faces and all of our expressions as we give our opinions on these couples. So take a minute, head over to YouTube, leave a nice comment, give us the views. those views and downloads really mean the most to us, getting to continue podcasting about these crazy shows. So please.
And Kirsten and I will be in the comments talking with you all your thoughts. If you've got opinions, write them. We will write back because
Yes.
I don't have any I can't speak for Kirsten. I don't have any real life friends who are really watching this show. So
I thought you were about to try and say you don't have any real life friends, and I was like, maybe we got to stop down and give you some Markel Wahlberg advice that you actually have a very robust social circle. But you're fine. You're fine.
I do. That is one thing I will not talk down is my social circle. But and I got to get my mom's thoughts, on all of this. Well,
we'll
have to do a merry roundup at the end.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, so we, as always, have, for anyone who's, maybe this is your first season of Temptation Island, I guess we should lay out the format of the show as well.
Yeah.
So you have 4 main couples. Of course, it's always straight. Like, this Temptation Island is straight shit. Like, the bullshit. Like, this is not like this is just also, who's gonna do this.
I also kind of feel like it's what somebody or the society imagines like straight people and like straight people's sexuality is like.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%. Like it's like in the format of these shows, like someone has imagined this is what straight relationships are like. And so now this is how the show is. So there's 4 couples, 4 men, 4 women. They get split up. The 4 women are going to be living with 12 sexy single men, and the 4 men are going to be living with 12 sexy single women. And that's,
I have to say,
they're getting tested.
Say something?
Yes.
Can I say something controversial and yet brave?
Please stand in your truth.
Well, okay. Kirsten always says this, and I do always agree with what you say, and I will always say this over and over again. They don't put unattractive people on television. So everyone on this show, baseline attractive. However, some other seasons of the show, I personally, for me and my eyes and what I like to see, I feel perhaps like sexy singles, sometimes those terms are used loosely. This season, however, I have to say, I immediately texted Kirsten and said, oh, the guys are hot. The Tempters, hot.
The Tempters are extremely hot, and unfortunately for some of the main couples, hotter than some of the like main cast. Unfortunately for them, there's one male tempter who we will talk about later, who I literally sent his Instagram to some friends, and literally Brian Scally was like, why didn't he hold out for Love Island? Why is he on Temptation Island instead? I'm like, so true, he should be on Love Island.
So true. Oh my God.
Okay, so which couple do you want to introduce the audience to first, Maggie?
The first person on my list when I started taking notes, because I think the first 15 minutes I was just like so enraptured with us being back. And then I was like, oh, I should take notes. We're podcasting. I have Sydney and Mikey first on my list.
Okay, let's start with Sydney and Mikey. So they come in, they're on the helicopter. We find out that their biggest issue is trust. He says that he was a player with a messy past who movies better. Yes.
I'm so sorry. You're telling me that these couples that are on Temptation Island, their biggest issue is trust?
I mean, that's what all of them are, but that's what they straight up said. I normally look up how old these people are and how long they've been together. I'm not sure how old they are, but they have been together for 1 year, but they had previously dated in college and it hadn't worked out.
I think that they are like 25-ish. The youngest couple is 23, and then there's another couple where I know they're like 29.
Yes, so I just pulled it up. So Sydney and Mikey are both 24.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's been like they dated in college, it didn't work out, and then they got back together and they've been together for a year, and he's like trying to prove that he's, not a player anymore, but she doesn't really know if he can do that because he's always been a player. And so we find out that he cheated on her twice in college, and so that's why the trust is not there, which like the second I hear about a prior cheating, which happens almost every couple, almost every season, I'm like, okay, well, these are people that I'm primed to watch because I think that they will be more likely to cheat
cheat.
because
Mhm.
he's cheated previously.
Yes. And also, like, he is the one who, when they're talking to Mark L. Wahlberg and they're talking about, you know, what they've been through, he's like, I do understand why she says that. Like, I was bad in college. In college, I was a hoe. Direct
Yeah.
quote from him.
Yes.
Like, I was bad in college, but I'm changed now. We've been together a year. This is the longest I've ever been loyal in my life, which again, red flag, red flag, red flag city.
Yes.
But they seem like, she keeps saying over and over again, I know how he is. Like, I know
Yeah.
him. I know how he is. Like, she is so clearly expecting him to disrespect her. Like, very, to me, I'm just like, Sydney, are you here because you're looking for clear evidence and a way out? Like, she so clearly does not trust him.
Yeah. And like, to me, it almost makes more sense that they had more of like a situationship type vibe in college and now it's a relationship, because I feel like when things are not like a true real relationship or like bad in the past, like that stuff kind of messes you up even more than if he had like cheated on her 1 month ago. Because I think if he had cheated on her a month ago, she would just leave and she would be fine with that. She'd be like, I made my decision. I know who you are. But because she has all this evidence of him being different and then they had time apart and now they're back together, it's like one of those young relationships where you just wonder, like, is this my person? What if he is? What if he can change? But oh, what if he can't? And it just hurts so much more because of the history.
And you feel that pull because, like, maybe it worked before and, like, maybe he has changed. Like, he is older. Like, I don't know. But I feel like she kind of, in those first, like, moments when the Tempters are coming in and, you know, all of this stuff is happening, she's kind of like scolding him a little bit, like a mom watching her son, waiting for him to like be bad and break the rules, you know. That was their vibe to me.
Yeah, because I do feel like he puts off like a very playful kind of mischievous vibe, and so I think that when that vibe turns in a direction that it really should not be turning, and then she's like, hey, stop doing that, it really does give that kind of dynamic of parenting, even though they're the same age and they're both 24.
Yeah, they're both grown people and in a relationship. However, she, to me at least, seems like she needs to parent him a little bit to keep him his behavior in check.
And yet neither of their prefrontal cortexes are fully developed either. So this is where that's where we're at.
I'm really excited to see where this goes for them this season, because I think this is going to be a juicy couple. He is messy.
He gives messy for sure. When the Tempters come in, they do the thing where each Tempter gives a bracelet to the person they think is hottest. And out of the 12 women, 5 of them give Mikey a bracelet. And so that kind of just is setting the stage for how his energy is going to be. When he gets to the like men's villa, he immediately befriends like 3 women right away. They all have bestie vibes.
Is so immediately friendly. Like, okay, I have to say this. My biggest like turn off from a person, romantic, friendship, just like turn off in general, is when I feel like they are overly friendly with me, and not like trying to be overly nice, but like overly familiar, where we do not have enough of a relationship established for you to be speaking to me this way or hitting me up in this way, or like, I do not like that. It really, really bothers me, and is like the number one thing that makes me be like, I don't know about this person. Like, they're acting like they're my bestie and I do not know them. And Mikey to me is exactly that way. Him being like, these are the crew, the 3 amigos. Like, what?
Yeah, and it feels like it's immediate. Like, it's right away. He's saying that he's got these friends. Like, I don't know. It's a strange situation.
The 3 amigos, and she because they have to pick their dates in front of each other.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe should we talk about like all the dates like as one piece at the end, like how they pick their dates, just so that, because I feel like the dynamic of everybody kind of like feeds off of each other there. But like,
Totally.
he's immediately got friends. She's talking to people at the women's villa, but I feel like I'm not seeing anything that's like a red flag of her being overly familiar with anyone. She meets Xavier, and we do find that they both live in like close proximity to each other, which is always, you know, a good sign in a dating show.
Xavier is one of the most beautiful men I have ever seen on television.
Yes, period. Or in person.
I really like the dimples. Oh my God, he is beautiful.
Yeah, he is so beautiful. So far, the vibe is that he seems very nice and not like pushy. This is the one where I'm like, he should be on Love Island.
He is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Certified. Well, I mean, this is episode 1. Right now, very into Xavier.
Just yes,
I don't know if he will let us down, but
he could ultimately let us down, as so many men on this show do. But so far, so good. And like, I feel like generally the male tempters tend to come in like with a pretty good strategy of being respectful and not pushing too hard, and so that kind of gives us reason to have support, you know.
Totally.
Okay, who should we do next?
Okay, next on my list is Cole and Scarlett.
Okay, yes, we need to talk about Cole and Scarlett. So Cole and Scarlett, this is the couple that is a little bit older. Scarlett is 29 and Cole is 27. So she's a cougar, obviously. And they come in and it's like, we have the same interests: work, the gym, travel. And my editorialization is immediately 2 of the most boring people in the world. Like, yeah, first of all, why is work one of your interests? That's crazy. But like, the gym and travel, I think, are the 2 most basic interests any person could. Like, yeah, everyone loves to travel. A lot of people like to go to the gym. Like, give me one other thing, please.
Yeah, I mean, their issues are so interesting to me because like they said they have too much togetherness. They're together too much. And also he lies here and there, like little white lies. And that really bothers her because she's like, I just want him to be honest. Like when he's lying about stuff, it makes him seem even more shady. And so I'm thinking like, oh, he's lying about like him going to the bar and there being girls there. Or he's lying, he's like lying about these things that like could upset her. And then Mark is like, are you like lying by omission or are you just lying? And he says, oh no, like she's asked me point blank, like, have you ever cheated on me? And I said no, and I did. What? That's not lying. That's cheating.
Well, it's cheating and lying. So lying about the cheating. So it's double.
But I'm like, why are we talking about little white lies when he's cheated? Or maybe it's because he was like, she asked me point blank, like, did I hook up with her? And I said no. So maybe he's talking about somebody that he like hooked up with in the past.
What I took that to be was like at the start of the relationship when they hadn't really like defined it as an exclusive relationship, he was maybe still sleeping around, but she wasn't. And then when she would ask, oh, are you like seeing anyone else? Are you sleeping with anyone else? He'd be like, no, but he was. That was what I took that conflict to be, which is like really weird and sinister, honestly, because like you can just tell the truth. If like, especially if you haven't defined the relationship yet, you could just tell her.
I think I'm just confused by the fact that it's like, oh, these little lies or like these lies, everywhere. Like I have to like check in multiple times about if you're lying. And I'm like, what are the severity of the lies? Like, because the way he's kind of talking about it is like, oh, it's just like here and there because I don't want her to get like more mad and fly off the handle. But then I hear things like hooking up with other people or something. I'm like, that's not a little lie. Like that's blatant disrespect. I don't know. I was like, this is
I feel like there is so much more to this couple that we're just not seeing, and I hope that it gets fully explored as we go through the whole thing. But it's like they talk about how like her thing is she goes, I just want to feel safe. I just want to feel safe, and part of me feeling safe is like knowing the truth and having full information. And so like it sounds like he just lies for fun all the time. Like perhaps he's a compulsive liar and it's about everything and like serious stuff and small stuff. And it's like, well, he's never going to tell you the truth then. So I don't really know what we're doing here.
Yeah. Also, like, if you feel like you have to investigate every little freaking thing he says, what are we doing here? But again, this is Temptation Island for all of these couples. I'm like, what are we even doing here? And I'm like, oh, you want to be on TV. That's why.
Yes, 100%. Like I think they've only been together like 2 years. Like they're one of the shorter couples of everyone. And I don't know. It's a strange vibe. Of note, Cole got 1 bracelet from all of the when all the Tempters gave them, compared to Mikey got 5. Yeah. Cole got 1. Yeah. And then they didn't actually give the counts of when the women got the bracelets, but I am pretty sure that Scarlett got a lot. Like I feel like I remember her wrist, like she might have had like 7. Like she had so many bracelets. Like it just gives you an indication about like who might be attracted to whom. And like it's to the point where getting 1 bracelet, I'm like, did that person just see that there was too much competition for the people that they were most attracted to? I'm actually surprised that more people didn't like gravitate to the people who had less bracelets, just to be like, I'm interested in you. I want to be on TV.
Yes, exactly. Like I'll get the screen time if you take me on a date.
Yeah. Right. So
I know. I think that I really think that they're the couple, like there's a formula to every season of Temptation Island, right? There's like the huge train wreck couple. There's the couple where it's like they're going to try to really work on it and like maybe they'll even get engaged. There's the couple that's like their communication is bad, and like there's like always a couple that's just, like maybe they won't cheat, but maybe their relationship is just kind of like ugh. And I think that this might be that. But I'm interested to see if there's cheating.
If any of these couples is going to be together at the end and potentially have an engagement, I actually think that Cole and Scarlett is like, at this point, seems like the most likely case. Like when they separate, he's telling her not to have too much fun. Like he's afraid of her seeing opportunity. Because of course, again, like half of the dudes just gave his girlfriend a bracelet that she's like the hottest one there. I think he like
drop dead gorgeous. She's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah. All 4 of the main women this season are so gorgeous. And the men are not on the same level as them, unfortunately, as is most often the case. And so like he, I think immediately is like, I should not have brought her here. And like, I have regrets and I am worried because people think she's hot. Like he like doesn't even really get up to anything when they go back to the villa. And
he seems really just like closed off to me. And that's also part of the lying. It's like, what are you just not wanting to share like your anything? Like I just don't I can't get a read on him really.
Yeah, he's totally just like a brick wall to me. I don't know anything about him, and I'm not getting a sense of if I will know anything about him by the end of all 9 episodes. So we'll have to wait and see.
We'll see. Mark,
if he actually opens up. Crack him like an egg, Mark. Get in there. Okay, so should we move on to Summit and Kaylee?
Yes, we gotta save the craziness for last. So
I need to say up top, I texted Sasha Joseph and I was like, there is a man named Summit on this season of Temptation Island. And she thought I had mistyped like Sumit. And she was like, oh no, that's not the representation I want. And I was like, no, it's a white man. It's like summiting a mountain. I didn't know it was a name, but I guess it's a name.
It's a name.
Yeah. And so he Summit says, he never really wanted to get married or settle down until he met her. Now, again, he's 25 and she's 24. Like, these are young people.
Kirsten, this has been driving me freaking crazy about them. Like, he, in his like very first thing, he's like, I think I have commitment issues. I'm 25 and I've only ever been in 2 serious relationships my whole life. That is normal. You are 25. That is so normal to only have, like, what are you talking about?
Well, and I also feel like a lot of these dating shows, like there was someone on Love Island last year who said like he'd never been in a relationship, but then he was like, I've told 5 women that I love them. So it's like, so you've been in relationships with at least 5 women, because what do you mean? And so I think a lot of times, especially with like, as these casts are, I mean, they're staying the same age that these casts have always been, but compared to us, they're getting younger because time marches on. And I becoming like old. I literally feel like the Crypt Keeper watching this season of Temptation Island. It's fine. But like these like Gen Z men, and like, I don't know if it's just the men or if it's the women too, but it's like they perceive dating in such a different way than how it had always been in my life, where they're like, oh, well, I've only had 2 serious relationships at 25. And it's like, well, that's super normal. Or they'll be like, oh, I've never dated anybody, but they've clearly dated like a lot of people, but just never called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. So like, I don't really even know what that means when he says he's only had 2 relationships.
He said serious relationships too. He didn't even say like relationships. So that means if he's dating Kaylee, he started dating her at 24 because they've been together a year. If he dated a girl in college or a girl in high school, like, that's so normal. That is, by the time I was 25, I had only had 1 serious relationship. Like, what?
Me too.
I think that's deeply normal. I don't like that they're acting like it's crazy. And Kaylee is like, he has to grow up. Like, 2 serious relationships. Like, we're 25, time to grow up. I'm like, I mean, maybe that doesn't feel that old to me, though. I don't know.
But remember how you felt at 24? Like, I feel like when I was 24, I thought I was a grown woman who had it all figured out. And then now at 33, I'm like, I'm actually still a baby.
Maybe. Yeah. But I think that I wouldn't have been at 24. I was not like, oh, I need to like get serious and get a husband and settle down. Like, no, crazy to me. This honestly,
it is crazy.
That pissed me off the most of the entire thing of the first episode. I think maybe because it made me feel old and it felt like a personal attack. I was like, why are we acting like this is a character flaw of his? Like, it sounds as though he has actually a lot of character flaws that aren't the fact that he's only had 2 serious relationships at 25.
Yeah, it's very strange. I do feel like he looks older than 25. Maybe that feeds into it. People are like, oh, he needs to grow up. Like, not like he doesn't look like ancient or anything like that. It's just like, if I saw him, I would have guessed more late 20s than mid 20s.
Sure.
And he was his idea to come here. He said, life is short. What's the point of wasting each other's time? And it's basically like he was daunted by his second serious relationship, and his commitment issues forced him to self-sabotage. So he did the thing of being a shitty boyfriend so that your girlfriend breaks up with you and you don't have to do it yourself. So I'm like, weak, coward, boo, tomato. And she says, when we broke up, I felt free and not tied down. I'm like, so here's where I have my tinfoil hat on. I don't think they ever got back together. And I think they just wanted to be on TV.
Oh.
That's, at least, honestly, I hope so. Because it seems like a very strange dynamic between the two of them. And again, Summit also got 5 bracelets of the 12. So I don't know. He's giving some sort of aura that does not translate through the TV to me personally.
A lot of the women were talking about how they all think that Summit is the most attractive.
I think he's the tallest. And I think that sometimes that can be, I think that sometimes it can be very confusing when someone is very tall.
Well, I famously like short men. So
I think when it comes to like any sort of height preference at all, like, you just seeing faces from different angles look different. And so sometimes a face that would look like completely average on anyone else, because you're seeing it from a different angle, looks very different when they're tall. Like, specifically, like, if you think about like Riley from Big Brother last year, which I hate to think about him, but like that man looked like Sid the Sloth. But I assume that when you're looking up at him, he maybe looked less like that. I don't know, because everyone thought he was hot
This
too, and I couldn't see it from the
so
cameras.
fascinating, Kirsten. I'm so interested in this sociological thought. I've never
I
thought
thought
of
you were
this.
making fun of me. Are you
No,
making fun of me right now?
I am not. I am literally, I don't know why I've never thought of it. I was going to say that I think that when my like soapbox has always been that if you deeply care about height in a partner, I think that you are a victim of the patriarchy
Oh
and
yeah, it's
we need
society's
to,
fault.
yeah, we need to like, and you know, I'm saying like any guy you date has to be over 6 feet tall. Of course, people have personal preferences and reasons, and I hear everything that you are all saying to me all the time. However, that is not my truth. And
I love that for you.
you know, maybe that's the reason because I only like really handsome men and I want to be able to see them eye to eye. Maybe you're right. That's what it is.
What a diva. Yeah, I think it's the thing of like, yeah, everyone has preferences, but I think when people
Mhm.
are closed off to anyone who
Yeah,
doesn't fit a extremely narrow physical preference, it's like
that
you're
they have
sick
no
and
control over.
you need to
Yeah.
take make healthy choices and not
Mhm.
be so obsessed with that. It's tough. I used to, Maggie, I used to be like that. I used to be like 6'4" is the ideal height of a person, and there's no reason to like talk to anybody else. And then guess what? I grew and I worked on myself.
Mm. Which this is not the podcast for this, but I could talk about this for hours. Like why it is. Again, like the sociological reasons of like
Oh yeah, there's so
patriarchy,
much
women
to
wanting to
it.
feel small and you know, like all of that. But I
But
digress.
we don't have to do anything
Mm,
else. There's also
no.
like it seems like everyone's immediately really into Summit. He's like immediately getting champagne poured in his mouth, and then it's a confessional of him being like, "Oh, but I'm just thinking of like Kaylee. Maybe she wouldn't like to see that." It's like, well, you should have thought of it before you did it, you dumb butt. Had enough.
I don't know that I vibe with Summit.
I
With
don't.
each passing comment that you're making, I'm getting more and more annoyed.
I typically speaking, when we watch the first episode of Temptation Island, I plant my flag on who I think the
Mhm.
worst man alive is based on what we
Mhm.
know. And I think there's a strong case that it could be Summit just from the premiere. Obviously, we don't know how he's going to act all season long, but I got my eye on him.
Okay. And I also famously will like gasp and be like, really? To her in the first episode. And by the last episode, I will be also screaming, he is the worst man alive.
And
Mhm.
again, it's pretty easy to call someone the worst man alive when they're going on Temptation. It's like a lot of them are.
Totally.
Uh, but
Totally.
yeah, so that's Summit and Kaylee. And then we have our last couple. This
Oh
is
gosh.
Jack and Cheyenne. They are Cheyenne is 23 and Jack is 25. And they've been together
Oh.
for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And uh Jack says like we've been together 5 years, but it's deeper than 5 years because they hooked up when they were in high school and then they got together later on. He says she says, he is my deepest love and my biggest heartbreak all in one. We
Never
find out
good.
he cheated 3 years ago. And
And
this
and
is
do
Kate.
I was
No,
gonna say, do we
please.
want to talk about how she found out?
We have to talk about this because first of all, rivaling the like Summit never had a serious relationship issue for me is when Jack says, before I cheated on her, our relationship was perfect and I wouldn't change anything. Well, but then you cheated and you changed everything. So what's not clicking? Um, and so he got drunk and he cheated on her with one of his friends, which presumably if they've been together for like a couple years, like could be her friend too. And he came home with a hickey on his neck that he didn't even realize he had. And like she had to like fish the info out. He wouldn't admit to it. So she texted the friend that he saw.
No,
And she
it wasn't a friend, Kirsten. It was a random girl. So she went to his Instagram most recently followed and
I
DM'd her.
forgot about that part. Yeah. So
Mhm.
she goes
She's
in.
smart.
Like finds the person from the followed, finds the name in his phone, texts the contact, and just texts her your lips with the heart eye emoji. And this woman replies back to him, which ones? Jail, immediate jail. I am not really for incarceration and generally I support women's rights and wrongs, but this wrong I cannot support. That's crazy.
I hate that story so much
Yep.
for so many reasons.
Every part of
That
it.
is traumatizing. I cannot believe that they made it through that. Like, that is darkness to me on such a high level.
It's dark. It's bleak. Also, for people who maybe didn't watch the show and are just listening to it, Jack is wearing a pearl necklace, which is very odd to me. And he says that cheating is, quote, it's something I don't ever want to do again, which is not the same as saying I will never cheat again. He's saying I don't want to cheat again, but like I will if I have to. What do you mean?
He sucks, man. He sucks.
Yeah,
he's a
the
little
problem
twerp too. Like
he's really
looking at him, I'm just like, you're a twerp, you know?
he has the same haircut as a troll doll from the 90s. And it's confusing to me. But I also think that it also makes sense that as I am approaching the mid-30s, that I would not find someone who looks young for his age, 25-year-old attractive. Like, I think that to me is actually just a positive quality about myself rather than actually speaking to anything about him.
I just like can't believe that he hooked up with somebody and she gave him a freaking hickey and he had the audacity to tell his girlfriend, no, she just sucked on my neck. What?
And how would that be okay? Like, how does that make anything better?
Loser.
It's so crazy. We do find out that he graduated high school in 2019 because lots of the women graduated during COVID. And his goal is to be a poker player because he wants to be stable, but he does not want to have a boring job. So read, he's unemployed. He
told one of the girls on the first night that he met that he wants to be a club promoter.
I missed that.
That's his dream job. Because she's a bottle girl. So he wants to be a club promoter.
Anyways, as I said, he's unemployed. Which again, like lots of people are unemployed, but it's also like kind of hard to build a strong foundation of your life without having some sort of a job.
I mean, no, but like to be 25 and unemployed and saying you want to do something like being a club promoter, I feel like that's a pretty easy job to get.
It's a red flag. It's a red flag that he doesn't have that. So we also have like Cheyenne, we're not really seeing that much about. We don't really see too much of him other than that in the villa. So then we get to, it's the next morning or I guess, did you want to say anything about all of the Tempters when they came in?
Well, I didn't like that they were all in like Handmaid's Tale type robes.
Yeah, I felt like it was less Handmaid's Tale-y than it was last year. Like, I feel like last year they literally had a hood.
Totally,
and it was like floor length.
I still didn't like it.
Yeah, I still don't like it. But I feel like we're moving in the right direction, and at least they like all took them off right away.
Also, I do need to say there is a tempter named Kai who gave one of the best confessionals I've ever seen on reality television ever, where he was talking about how he's going to get your girl, on the surfboard, getting piped under the stars, Like, I screamed and rewound it twice to listen to that. Are you kidding me? Who is that man?
I find Kai to be extremely sinister.
Get him in the Big Brother house. Who is that man?
He's like, I live just down the road, so it's fine.
Of course.
I don't even know what this man's name is, but there's the one who's a circus acrobat, and he comes out and he goes, I'm a circus acrobat, so you can trust me when I say you're sitting next to a clown, right to Scarlett's face. I love that.
Also, he flips. He flips a lot. The
Yep.
circus guy flips a lot.
He's basically
And
Benson Boone.
I also have to say, just like what they do to these poor temptress women, what they make them say is just tough.
I'm so sorry. Julianne came in and said, "I'm a teacher." I say, "You should not admit to being a teacher on this program." What do you mean?
I know. Bad.
I was like, and it's
good.
not to say that you can't be like a sexy single and be a teacher. I just don't think that you want the people watching Temptation Island to know you're a teacher, or the people you're teaching
not
to
good for
know
the job
about Temptation
search.
Island. Yeah, 100%. I didn't like Bradley's this guy with a mustache, and he like talks about he was like, I pour like a good drink and a better mustache ride. And I was like, shut up, don't talk like that. There's
gross.
Clint who talks about having eyes like the sea, and I really think he's wearing blue contact lenses. I just don't believe those are his real eyes.
I do, Kirsten.
I really think they're contact lenses.
I don't think that they are.
I don't know. And didn't like
we'll have to find him on Instagram
real.
and see if we can zoom in. The problem is we haven't seen him up close, really.
He's wearing if they're contacts, he's wearing them in every picture, and I don't think any picture will have the high enough resolution for me to see if the iris isn't aligned. But believe me, I tried.
Oh my god! Now TV. That's all I'm gonna be thinking when I watch.
Listen. If you can convince me that those are his real eyes, I'll take it. I'll take you at your word. But I don't know. It just felt fake to me. When they all say goodbye, they all say goodbye just like right there on the cliffside alone. Like, what happened to having one last dinner? Like, they used to have the Last Supper every season.
They did, and like everybody would cry, and they did all cry though. Oh my god, everybody always cries so much, and then they're like, "Well, don't embarrass me." They always say that to each other, like, "Don't embarrass me," you know.
Like, well, and everyone's already embarrassed. You're here.
I know the girls are always saying that, and the guys are always like, "We're here for a reason. We're here for a reason, babe."
Yeah, I think the only exception was that Cole realized pretty quick that there was not that much interest in him compared to her, and so he was more so like, don't forget about me. So then it's the next day, and they all have to pick their first dates. So the women choose their dates, and I feel like it's nothing too crazy. Like, Cheyenne picks Brayden, says he's a good guy. Like, I know nothing about Brayden, so I'm like, sure. Sydney chooses Xavier, which yes, as you should. Scarlett chooses Bradley, the mustache guy, and then Kaylee chooses Peter. And so all of the like main couples are all just sitting on stools, and then the women call their dates, and the dates have to stand right next to them. They don't let the men sit down. It's very weird. Like, the dynamic of like the women sitting on the benches and then the men standing behind them, like, this is so strange, but whatever. It's fine. But then the men come in, and then the men are sitting down, and they call their women dates, and the women are standing behind them, and I'm like, absolutely not. This is unacceptable. Let them sit.
Like, their hands are on their shoulders.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird. It is weird. But so the men pick their dates. Jack picks Carter, which Carter said, like, I'm not here to break up a relationship. I'm here to expose weak ones. I'm like, okay, like, yes, be a tempter. That's what you're here for.
Yeah, she's the bottle girl.
Cole picks Tiffany. Summit picks Julianne, the teacher, and then Mikey picks India. And there's like a whole exchange about like the three amigos and the friendship, and it's extremely strange and weird.
It is really weird, and like immediately pissed off Sydney, obviously.
Yes,
because like he's like, yeah, these are my girls, like the three amigos, and they're like giggling, and like, what? They literally have not even been apart for 24 hours.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Sydney's pissed. Mike's coming across weird, and then like it's time for him to like leave for the dates, and then Mikey's immediately like crying about his emotions about Sydney, and I'm just like, I don't believe you. You seem very disingenuous.
He is a disaster. He can't get his stuff together. I don't know what's going on with him, and I can't wait to see what he does moving into episode 2, because it can't be good with all the stuff with India. Like, I just know he's gonna mess it up somehow.
It seems like it. It seems like
Mhm.
it. And then he's gonna like, I don't know, just from this, he's talking a big game and talking about the three amigos and all his friends, and then he's crying after everyone leaves, and I'm just like,
Well,
stand 10 toes down.
he obviously wanted to make that a big moment because he was feeling insecure because Sydney picked like a Greek god looking man.
And I do, you know what? I do respect
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Xavier is so beautiful, and like I would feel insecure as well. But I don't know. I just feel like that behavior is not attractive, and I would want to be on my best behavior
No.
if I see that the most handsome man in the world is taking my girlfriend on a date.
Well, I feel like you know, I don't know that Mikey is the most mature man in the universe.
No.
So,
Well,
we'll see going into episodes 2 through 4 how he's feeling. But yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
we'll have to watch it all play out. But that's really it. Was there anything else about the premiere you wanted to get into?
I don't think so. Not about the premiere. I'm so excited for our bonfires coming up. Like, I'm just so excited
Mhm.
to see what happens. This is everybody, like I said, we've got some train wrecks here.
Yes, we've got a lot to get into, and I'm really excited about it. But in the meantime, if people want to hear you talking about anything else or see what else you're doing, where can they find you?
Sure, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at MLMorgan _, and you can find me on Blue Sky, just ML Morgan. Come let me know what you think of the premiere right in the YouTube comments below, and get to watching the next couple of episodes because we're gonna have some stuff to say.
Yes,
Kirsten, what about you?
100%. Yeah, and you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What. You can listen to Mess Magnets every week with myself and Sasha Joseph talking pop culture, celebrity gossip, trending topics. And next week, Love Island Beyond the Villa is back, and Scally and I will be covering that right here on the RHAP YouTube and on the Hot Dummies feed and on the We Know Love Island feed. So check out all those places to see that. But we'll be back next time to talk about episodes 2 through 4 of Temptation Island. And we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.